I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Talking Dicks comedy podcast spinoff of the web series The Two Dicks. I'm Al Romas. I'm in Florida today, even though my background would be more of a Caribbean. I took that picture. Look at that, how good that is. I took that picture about a week ago while I was on one of my walks, and incredible. I have an eye. Let's just say I have an eye for such things in photography. And that's Al Ducharme. He's in Studio City with a background of, what would that be, Al? Is that the Golden Gate Bridge?
Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge. And I hiked this side over here. Those of you listening can't see it, but I'm pointing at the island that separates the two sides of the Golden Gate Bridge and the Golden Gate Park. And I hiked there.
Like it would have been cool if you had
miles.
What? It would have been cool if you had taken that picture. And we both have backgrounds that we had. Oh, you took that picture?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. That was
no, it's a big
all
lie.
right. I'll
big
go
lie.
with it.
How convincing was that?
A lie right out of the gate, right out of the Golden Gate. It was a good line. Not bad. Not bad.
That was a good one. That was a good pull.
Not bad. I hope my Wi-Fi is hanging in there today. I'm on the ship. I'm using their ship Wi-Fi, and I mean, it's fine for reading. I can read some stuff. I can look at Facebook and watch a YouTube video, but I don't know about the pod. How hanging in there?
So far, you're hanging in there, but we may have a little glitch where you sound like a robot. Not yet, but if it happens, I think our listeners are forgiving about that. For God's sakes, he's been traveling port to port on a cruise ship with no passengers, trying to get everybody vaccinated. So everything's looking good, right? Everybody's vaccinated, the first dose anyways.
Yeah, they got the vax, they got the J&J, so we went back today, get the rest of them back. So everybody's vaxxed now, and and then cruises are starting. They're doing a test cruise, Royal Caribbean on the Freedom. That's coming in June. They're going to do a test. They have volunteers. They have I was reading over 10,000 people already volunteered to go on the 3-day test cruise. So they're going to try that out, and then that'll be
free of charge.
Port Canaveral, free of charge. Yes, 3 days.
Passengers,
free crew passengers. It's a test. You got to, they're going to test out all these different protocols and things.
Oh, I would have done that. Oh, you're frozen. Poor Al.
We don't work for free.
Yeah,
I'm back.
No, I wouldn't have worked. I would have gone for a 3-day cruise if they had flown me. I would have taken the wife, and we would have done their test. We're vaccinated.
Yeah, they don't fly.
I have miles. Free. I have plenty of miles, so I would have flown us both down, stayed overnight, maybe visit somebody down in Florida, and then cruise for 3 days and eat like pigs as a passenger and heckle you.
It's a different ship, but there will be comics on there. There will be, I think, the Freedom. If I can't remember who it is. There's 2 comics, in fact, but I can't remember who they are. But they'll be there, and they'll be doing test shows. I would imagine with test audiences. So
are they doing?
Mine is different.
Yeah. Yours is different.
6-month contract. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yours is different. How?
Well, mine, because I'm not in the United States, will be out of Nassau, so we're not doing.
That Freedom will be protocols. Out of Fort Lauderdale, correct?
Yeah, Lauderdale or Canaveral.
Or Canaveral. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what's happening. And then I saw a picture you sent. I don't know if it was on Twitter or you sent it to me or whatever, but you looked like some kind of a jury duty thing going on.
Yes.
How was that? What the hell?
Well, I've been postponing jury duty for years. And I actually, when I was living in New York City, I actually went down there for 2 days, and then I was dismissed. I told them that it would financially cripple me because I had a college tour and some corporate shows, and they just said dismissed. But I've been.
And then you dropped the N-word.
Yeah, I said nutbag, and
Okay.
I think I put the word lick my, or the words lick my, and then said nutbag. And
on your way out. Yeah.
That got me out of it. No,
right.
It's just I've been able to skirt it and because you can postpone it like 2 or 3 times. But I think in New York City, you were supposed to be qualifying or eligible to be called for jury duty every 5 to 7 years. Los Angeles, or at least California, or maybe Los Angeles County, once a year. Once a year.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but nobody works there. They're all fucking bullshit actors. Nobody's working.
Well,
they need to go jury duty. They need to make $30 for the day.
It's 15,
right?
And 34 cents per mile.
They're not working.
34
they're
cents
not working.
per mile. Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, I went down.
So I can see that.
I can discuss the case now because it's been resolved. Second day in, I did the orientation online, so I didn't have to get there till 9:30. Free parking, and you walk into the courthouse and you figure out what floor, what court. You do all that. You sign in, you check in, and they give you a tag. You put it around your neck. And they were able to resolve it on the second day before we actually went into the courtroom. So the judge goes, "I got good news and I got bad news." He said, "The good news is we resolved it and the case is over. The bad news is we resolved it and the case is over because I really wanted, you're the most important thing to serve on a jury. It's more important than the lawyers and me, the judge." And it's like, he's still doing the speech. He's doing the comeback speech. This is a great process. The United States of America, all that on that.
That's his thing.
Yeah, he's got to do it.
His thing. He's got it.
It's a bringer show. Yeah. It's a fucking bringer show. So, anyways,
it's like when you're in the middle. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Take it.
No, I was just going to say, when you're in the military, in boot camp, they yell at you and they tell you you're the worst group they've ever seen, and you're the pieces of shit. You're not going to make it, and then. You make it, then 3 weeks later, the new guys come in. They're a piece of shit. They're the worst ones I've ever seen. It's the same thing. It's like that. So this guy, you're a great group, and I'm sorry you're gonna have to go. Okay, see ya. Any celebs in there? See any famous faces in the group?
No, it was a eminent domain case. It was the Glendale Junior College wanting property, and they wanted property next to the campus to expand. And if I guess you know how eminent domain works, if it's good for the community, then they could just take your property from you and pay you fair market value. The issue was the fair market value. It's a bidding war right now. Homes are going for 20, 30, and sometimes 40% more than asking price. Now, this person was eliminated from participating in the current market situation and really could have made out like a bandit, but they were only going to pay fair market. So she argued, hey, my home is worth X amount of dollars, and I know if I put it on, there's going to be a bidding war automatically. There's going to be a line around the block trying to come in and see it, and I can really cash out here. And she was not allowed to participate. Now, I didn't know if it was a private home or a commercial property, but it was resolved. They settled.
Well, that was quite a story. Next time, maybe go over it before the pod and insert a couple of jokes in there or some humor.
Oh, you wanted a joke? God. Well, here's my thinking.
Pod. We're ballsy that way. We say comedy podcast instead of real estate / jury duty. Go ahead.
I thought lick my nut bag was a little bit of a comedy thing.
That was 5 minutes ago.
Oh, we had a drought. We had a laugh drought. I had a laugh drought. And instead of trying to save his partner, what does he do? He pushes me. He pushes me off the Golden Gate Bridge right behind me.
I didn't want to interrupt, and then it becomes a thing, and then that story continues for another 2 minutes. So I'll let your eminent domain story end. It's all good. You got out of jury duty. You're finished. You have 1 year off now. That's good to know. And,
I'm 1 year off before I can be picked again. And if you're picked before the 365 days, you can tell them you already served and you're out. But
like a migrant.
She did say most people don't get it for a few years. It could be 10 years, but
like herpes.
So but just so you know, you are eligible. And I think because I went online and registered and did the orientation that I'm now in the system. A lot of people just
You're in
throw
the
it.
system.
They just throw it out and don't respond.
Of course.
But I did.
Fuck that.
I did get a letter and an email saying that I could be fined $1,500 if I didn't respond.
Right.
And my first one, yes, first rejection of jury duty was there was a pandemic, and I was not vaccinated, and I didn't want to go to a fucking courtroom. I'm sorry. So my doctor wrote me a note and said no. And they still, I sent it in, and they still sent me another threatening letter because it's a computer spit out,
Right.
So
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. You know what here's an issue I'm having.
Oh boy. Here we go. Here's an hour.
Yeah. And this will be for anyone on cruises. You're going to deal with this issue. This is cruising, post pandemic now. You go to the buffet and you get served your food. They're serving the food. And
like
let me tell you, these people they're either told or this is just the way they are. They serve very small carrots. No, here's a carrot. Here's a carrot. Here you go. And you end up feeling like a fucking glutton because I got to go. Can I get a couple more? And the guy's like, oh, geez, really? And he gives me 2 more little baby carrot. I go, can I get 2 more of those little? So you end up feeling like you're a fat slob begging for food, but it's weird. It's humiliating because it's like, and then you move down the thing. Oh, do you want a little of that? Here it is. Chickpeas. You want? Here's 2.
Are you exaggerating?
So this is all you
do.
do.
Chickpeas. Are you exaggerating?
No, this is how it is.
The carrots, I didn't think you were exaggerating. The chickpeas.
Well, maybe for comedy, I'm going a little exaggeration.
Okay,
Alfred, I'm trying for a little bit, but not much. I'm just saying, this is you literally are doing an Oliver. You got, please, can I have some more? Can I have some more, please? And then they go, oh, really, mashed potato? You want? Here you go. They're told. And I think they're also like these, third world people who look at American like, hey, fatso, you're good. You don't need any more.
But you lost over 20 pounds. You lost over 20 pounds.
400 pounds, sir. 400 pounds. I'm a life coach. Have you seen those guys?
I have. I've seen some of the people that I know. God. I've seen comedians who become weight loss life coaches.
Oh my God. Well, and there's like a few that we know and they look good. They lost a lot of weight. Good for them. But can't you just lose the weight? Now during the pandemic, they've been a comedian for 35 years. They're 59 years old. And now suddenly they're health and life coaches. And they're like, inbox me. I'll show you how to do it. Pay me to teach you. It's like, fuck you. Just you ate less and you took a walk during the pandemic. It's not that hard. You know what I mean? Now they're health and life coaches. It kills me. And a couple of them are still fat.
Yeah, that
here's me.
Yeah, here's me before and after. Pounds. And here's me at 290. I'm 5'4".
I'm looking. The guy's got a big gut. It's hanging over his belt. I'm like, you're the coach?
Well, how about the ones where they push their gut out? And then like a month later, they suck their gut in as much as they can and they do the profile. Right. Like, come on, dude. You're completely, you're forcing your gut out. You look like Rich Aronovich doing his dance moves.
He is. He's
now
awful, that guy.
What?
He's awful. He's awful.
He's funny. He's silly.
I can't watch.
He's committed.
I can't watch any of that. He's fat. He looks disgusting. He's dancing. I can't take it. I just move on. Nice guy, but
his legs do not match his belly.
I wouldn't know. I just see it and I go right past it.
He has gymnast legs.
Nice guy.
He's got gymnast legs. He's got a dad beer belly, and then he's got a normal looking head.
It's a mess. Another one similar to that, not someone we know, but I was in an Uber one time and the woman up front she literally looked like a cartoon, like she had been poured into the car. She was 500 pounds in a small car and she took up the whole front. The entire front was her body and her fat everywhere. And I'm in the back and I'm just going from the airport to my house and she starts chatting, of course. And I go, blah, blah, blah. And then I said something to her. I go, oh, like, because, Uber's not really your full job. I said, so I'm like, oh, what do you do? And she goes, well, I'm a life coach. And I was like, of course. Yes, you're a life coach. This woman is stuck in a car. She literally cannot get out of the car. If I needed help, I'm fucked. She's driving an Uber at night and she's a life coach. I mean, we got to do something, man. Not everyone can be, you know what I mean? Everyone's a coach of some kind. It doesn't take anything. Like you want to sell real estate, you got to get a license. Anyone can be a fucking coach. You lost 20 pounds. I'm a coach, or a big fat slob. I'm a life coach. She's going to teach me how to run my life.
So you can't get certified, or you can get
I don't think there's any
fake certificate, or do you take a course? You pay $99, and some guy named Joe sends you a certificate saying that you are officially a life coach, and then he makes
do
money.
You even ask? But do you ask? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, let me see. Like the comedian, this guy. These comedians we know, they're qualified? Is there anything they did other than losing a little weight? Now they're going to teach some slob how to get in shape, drink a shake in the morning.
Well, someone posted about comedians, how there are so many stand-up comedians now. Like you just put some time together, you do some open mics, and then you're a stand-up comedian.
Right.
Or shouldn't you have to make a living at it? Someone said that there's only actually 10 funny people that are performing these days.
I heard the same thing, and I heard the number was 8. So I heard, but yes.
Well, that person was optimistic. The one.
But yeah, I mean, it should be what on your taxes. Who are you? What do you do for a living? If you're you make your living as a comic, then you're a comic. But now when we were younger and starting without podcasts and all these and clubs booking your own shows, like you had to be funny to get booked. That was the only way you got booked. You had to be funny.
Well, you had to get on stage and be seen in front of an audience,
right?
And a club owner and the booker. There was so much pressure to and sometimes you had the one shot. And if you were like second or third year in and you're still green, and 10 years later you are a seasoned pro, some of these club owners and bookers remember that one time from 7 years before when you ate your own cock. And even though you're killing it now, and all of a sudden you're performing everywhere, headlining, and they still won't book you because that's that first impression they had of you. Mm-hmm.
Right. And now you can be in comedy a year, but if you get a successful podcast and you have an audience, you can go headline, you bring fans in, and and you can produce your own shows. It's very different. It's very different now. So when they say there are more comics than ever, there are actually more. I'm not saying they're funny by any means, but there are. I mean, we've talked about it here, where there's a million guys now who can fill a club, and the average person has never heard their name. It's like not like in the old days where you go, well, who's in there? Oh, who sells out? Oh, Dana Carvey. And everybody goes, oh, Dana Carvey from SNL. Great. But now you can just have guys who sell out rooms, and most people will never have heard of them. Even the big acts, the average person still doesn't know. I mean, you could bump into 10 people. Maybe, what do you think? 5 would know who Sebastian Maniscalco is.
No, that's true.
He's not a household name,
but he's cultivated millions of fans. Right. You can have millions of fans that will sell out your shows. And I'll go ask somebody that I grew up with, hey, do you know comedian so-and-so? And they're like, no, never heard of him. I go, he's doing 5 shows, completely sold out.
Right. No. It's amazing. Whereas it used to be when there was just, like David Brenner would come to Long Island and play the Westbury Music Fair. Everyone knew who David Brenner was. Right. The shows were sold out because he was on the Tonight Show and he promoted it. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty amazing now where you can have that amount of people selling out multiple shows, and the average person has no idea who they are. Even comedians might not know.
It's kind of a good thing.
There are guys, you and I.
Yeah. There's. I was amazed at how many comedians, because now that comedy is coming out like gangbusters, everybody's doing a show, and they're advertising them all over social media. And I'm seeing faces and names. I'm like, there's like 8 people, and I go, I know 2 of them. Who are the rest of them? I have no idea.
Right.
But,
yeah. What's been good out here is being on this thing for the last, couple of weeks is I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and you hear a lot of, there are good ones, there are bad ones, but I've gotten then I'm listening to some guy and it's like, he's talking about, where are you going to be this weekend? And then I look at the website and all the shows are sold out. And I've never heard of this guy until, this podcast I just covered. I'm like, how is that possible?
Well, I'll tell you how it's possible. The basic 101 is there are a lot of places that are still 25, 50% capacity, not full capacity. So the sold out thing is a little easier to get to, but still, even with that,
still putting people in.
They're putting people in seats.
Yeah.
Which is the hardest thing there is a rush to seeing live entertainment. There's a rush. So that's very helpful. And
I agree.
The crowds in Arizona last week were on fire. They were just like, give us more. Yes, we love it.
And let's tease. We talked about you were going to do the bit. Let's tease it a little. We'll talk about it on the next pod. But I had come up with the got to get rid of the gut bit that I had a couple weeks ago heard in the gym here on the ship, and then I ran it by you, and you came up with some stuff. We went back and forth, and then since I haven't been able to get on stage and try it, you were going to try it last weekend now? Yeah, last weekend while you were in Arizona. And you were going to record it possibly, and we would hear how it did or talk about how it did. So
I didn't record the video. I only record the audio for one show. So you're not going to see the facial expressions, but we can at least listen to it. Why don't we listen to it on our next pod and then stop it and analyze it, and we'll discuss it. It will be like a lab. A joke lab. Now, this is what happened. Al came up with this a premise and a nice chunk of a joke. And as soon as he started telling me it, I'm like, oh, that could work. And then I threw him like a line or something about
under the bus.
Yes.
You threw me under the bus and you ran to Arizona with my joke.
No, he said, try out my joke. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And then I would record it, and we're going to dissect it on our next episode. But we've run out of time today. Is there anything else we need to cover before we say goodbye?
I don't think so. Those fat life coaches are bugging me. That's all I got to say. Folks, just watch what you put in your mouth and take a walk or run or go to the gym. But don't be sending these comedians money to have them help you lose weight. It bothers me. It's kind of like comedy school bothered me the same way with, some failed middle act in Ohio is going to teach somebody how to do comedy. But at least, those were comedians. They're not even in their field here. Now they're just fat guys who lost, 10 pounds. So that bothered me. I wanted to get that off my chest.
Do you think stand-up comedy can be taught? Because I do know a few funny people that have a real gist of it, can go headline a club and teach. But I've seen many who shouldn't be doing stand-up comedy on stage. Do you think that some of those that really don't, they can convey instruct how to be a stand-up comedian? Or do you really have to have the stage legs?
I think you gotta I think it's natural, and I think things can be taught, but more to be a speaker, maybe at your business, and be funny at dinner. The actual stand up, it's just the work, and you got to just want to do it. You just got to do it. I remember there was a story where Bill Hicks was young and they were in Texas, and they asked Leno to come in. Jay Leno was headlining the club, and they asked him to come in during the afternoon and give a talk to the young comedians about, and not really teach them, but give them a talk. And Leno said after 5 minutes, this one guy got up and left the room. He was like, this is bullshit. He just walked out. He goes, and that was Bill Hicks, so, you know what I mean? And he goes, of course, that's the good guy. He's not going to, there's nothing there for him.
That's the guy who's going to be the comedian. No,
right,
but there are a couple of successful comedians now that actually did take a class 15 years ago, and they're in the game. I can't think of their names right now because I'm thinking of one name, but it might be a mistake. No, it does
You
happen.
might have one out of sure. And I wouldn't have, I look back and go, maybe when I was 19 or 20, if it had been around, I might have taken it because I didn't know how to do it. It was like, to me, it was like, I want to do this. How the fuck do I do it? What do I do? I don't know what to do. And then luckily there was Minervini had a club. Well, it was, but in Virginia, but the same thing on Long Island. When I went up there, Richie Minervini had a club, and it was like you could go in and get on stage, and he was cool and friendly about it. But but there was no class. The class was literally just learning on your own.
Open mic night or guest spots. And any club owner who realizes that you need an open mic and you have to cultivate new talent so you can exploit them as well. Those are the people that understand stand-up comedy as an owner. And there was a few clubs that no open mics, all pro shows, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden they ran out. They tapped. It was fail. Like they fail. You got to have a pool, and you got to have a pool of open micers to become MCs. And you got to be able to draw out of that. And it's all good. It all works together. But so I tend to sometimes shit on the comedy school, but had there been one when I started, I probably would have signed up and went and probably paid because I was like, that's the way to get the gist of it and say, okay, get the jizz of it.
Get some jizz.
Get some comedy.
I'll pay for jizz.
Comedy sperm.
What do I care?
Create comedy life. I think
so next pod, we'll.
I think we're out. I think we're out.
All right,
we're out. The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.